of the epics. So I'll be showing you all how it looks. So first thing is, like if you go to jira.com and then log in, it will redirect us to this site. My screen is visible, right?
No, ma'am.
It is
Yes, we
visible,
can see
right?
it.
Yeah,
It's
visible. Visible.
it's visible. It's
We can
visible.
see it.
Okay, okay. So so this
So
is
I'm
the
not able to see the screen actually.
Sorry, may I know who this?
Darshan, yeah.
Yeah, Darshan, you just log off and log in. It might be your
Oh,
network issue.
okay, okay, done.
Just log off and log in. Prasunna madam, that one
Yeah.
black strip is coming, right? Hide, stop sharing, and all. You just
Yes.
click on hide. You just click on hide.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
Oh, fine.
So if you simply see, they have already given, like Jira is integrated with all of this. So basically, if you have a Google account or if you have a Microsoft or an Apple account also, you can log in using those accounts too. So the best method is using just the email ID, because you always need not have to log into Jira, log in with Google and then try with it. This gives you an advantage and also a disadvantage. If you like, for example, I've already logged into my email ID, and if once the account is created, I need not have to remember the password of Jira. If I simply say continue with Google, it will take my ID and then make like lets you log into it. So here I'm oh God. The password is,
Same, madam. Whatever I gave you
yeah,
yesterday.
yeah. Okay. So when you basically log into Atlassian, it gives you this page. So Atlassian has Jira mainly, and then it has other options also. So Jira is just a part of it. So I'll be going into Jira software. Okay. And this is my projects. Okay, so under projects, so this gives you an overview of what projects are present in my account. Okay, and then we also have this called as dashboard. So you are given a default dashboard. You're given a default dashboard wherein the Atlassian gives you the option of looking at the overview of what is being happening in the company. So here it shows like there are these many projects present in the organization, and then you can see what are assigned to me. So what tasks are assigned to me, you can simply go to the default dashboard and then look at it, and then you have this active stream activity. So whatever activities have happened, the recent activities would be showing up over here. So the dashboard basically gives you an overview of what task is being assigned to you, what are the projects present, and then what activities have been happening in the for the projects. So I would be going into this project. Okay, this is the board. So this basically gives you an overview of the current sprint. So this board is empty because I have not started any of the sprint. I'll start the sprint and show like what the board will show up over here. So this is called as the roadmap. So in the roadmap, what happens is that, see, these are multiple epics that I have created. So this epic, this is the bar which shows like how much percentage of work is completed. So this one is in green color, complete green. That means the tasks inside this epic are all completed. So you see this color over here. So this basically is the start and end time for this epic. So the roadmap basically gives you an overview of what epics we have in the pipeline, and then what are their timelines set. So if you see, if you can hover on this, you can see that the timings are shown, like when it starts and when it ends, the epic. So this is for the future. So looking at the roadmap, you will get an idea of when some epic is about to start, and when something has already started and in progress, and when it is ready to start. So this one, if you see, this would be started today. Okay. So this helps in expanding and like closing the epic. So if you expand, if you see this epic is done, and these are the child stories related to this epic. Okay, and these stories are already, it shows the status of that story. So the story over here is completed. So that is moved into done state. So the same thing, if you go to then open epic, what happens here is, if you see, these are in to do state. That means we have not started any of it. Same thing over here. If you see this, the two stories, which are the child stories, child of this epic, are completed. So if I'm going to backlog, okay, see, this is the sprint. So under this sprint, we have two stories that are supposed to be completed. So here, because there is no sprint available over here, that means we have not started any of the sprint, we can go to the backlog and then start a sprint. So if I simply say start, okay, so it will give a default of duration of 2 weeks. So basically, the sprint the minimum number of days would be 1 week to quarter, like the whole 3 months, depending on what what stories you are adding into that sprint, how complex the stories are. We would be giving the duration of that sprint. And by default, the average sprint cycle would be 2 weeks. So that is why it is showing 2 weeks. And you can also customize this. If you want to customize, it shows the start date, like when do you want to start it, when do you want to end it. You can give the dates over here. So you can also edit the name if you want to, the sprint name, and then the duration, I would be selecting 2 weeks. So start date would come, and then automatically the end date would be selected over here. And then if you want to write any goals, like what is supposed to be happening in this sprint, what is the main goal of it, then you can mention it over here. And this is not compulsory. This is like optional. And then you start the sprint. So when you start the sprint, automatically, if you see, everything in that sprint, all the issues have come to this board. Earlier, this board was empty. So from the backlog, when I start the sprint, it is coming to the board. So under the board, basically all the tickets are in open state, and that is why they are coming under to do issues. To do. So if you see this, so this is the epic that was created, and under that epic we have this story. So I just wrote this as an example, and then the description. And see, the sprint is automatically added to this story over here. I haven't added this sprint earlier to this story because I started it. It automatically is being assigned to this. Okay. And then labels I've already given. So now because we have started it, we can basically assign it. So see, yesterday there was only single person over here, and today we have 3 persons assigned to it because I sent an invitation to this email ID also. So I select this. That means this is assigned to this person. So it is this person's responsibility to look into the task, start it, and then end it. Okay. And then story points. Like, are you all familiar with what story points are?
Yes, it's a complexity points basically.
Yes. So basically the story points estimation would happen within the sprint meetings. So it would be decided by the project managers and every developers, whoever is sitting in the meeting and discussing about the story. And then they come to a conclusion like what the story point, what points we can give to this sprint. So you can select, you can basically select it with clicking this one. Okay. And also you can simply type from your keyboard to set the story points. So I've set the story point as 3 for this, and then I've assigned it to someone else. And then so if I've logged in as this account and I mark it as in progress. So after like when the sprint meeting happens, what happens is that apart from this description, if there are any features, like if there is anything else that needs to be added to this story, either the creator would update the description, so they can update this description, or they can give the details over here also as a comment. So this commenting part can be done by anyone, whoever have access to this story. And I am after the work is complete. Okay, so if at all there is an issue, okay, this story has been started and then the developer has come like developed whatever is needed for the story, and they comment stating that we this
Hello.
yeah,
I have a small doubt. So
yeah.
basically, the to-do list is for like if I'm a tester, I'm logging a Jira ticket. Like if I'm issue, that would be in a
Hmm.
to-do list, right?
So basically, to do doesn't mean that everything will be going for tester. Okay,
Yeah.
stories that,
I get.
yeah.
So my doubt was, so basically now when it is getting assigned to a developer,
Mm-hmm.
so will the person who has raised the issue will
Hmm.
change it will assign it to the uh, the developer and change the status to in progress.
It again depends on the company norms. Okay,
Okay.
so the person who is assigning it to someone
Mhm.
can just simply assign it and leave it to do.
Okay.
Some people will, what they do is that to move it from the to-do bucket. So see, when it is in the to-do bucket, it is under my, it is my responsibility. Okay,
Right.
I have assigned it to someone and I've marked it to in progress, and then I am moving it from my bucket to someone else's bucket.
Right. Right.
Okay, so now it is this person's responsibility to either complete the task on the same day or move it to do and then comment stating that I already have this works. This will be started on any other day, and then
Right.
they can again move it to do.
Right.
And as I said, like, because these are default ones, right? So to do, in progress, and done are just the default ones. You can add the workflow also, like in validation, in progress, or any other um, issue types like statuses you can add in the workflow. So depending on that, they can change it.
Okay. So if the developer thinks that's a duplicate issue, so where do he
Yes.
change it in the?
Yes. So basically, the workflow, so basically, the admin will have the access of adding one more option. Okay. So in that case, like in between this to do and done, they can add one more status as duplicate.
Okay.
Okay. Um, So here basically we have only these. So generally the admin would have the other option of adding one more. I'm not getting it over here.
If at all you want to create any new one, you have to send a mail to the admin people of the Jira, and they
Yes.
will create so-called whatever the status you want, and then they will give the permission to you so that you can use it.
Correct.
Okay. Or else we can just provide the comment in the Jira, right? Like if we
Yeah,
don't like that.
No.
you can do
As
it,
I
sir.
told you, I think the rights would not be given for everyone. So as I told you, there are two types of projects, right? One is company managed projects, and the other is the um, team managed ones. So see, if I go to see, if you see this one, see the type of like of the projects that are present, it is shown over here, right? Company managed one, and this is a team managed one. So in the under the company managed, see, if I create a project, you have these two options, team managed and then company managed. If you go to company managed, you have, it could be any of these options. So is it Kanban board that you want? Is it a Scrum you want? Or is it a bug tracking that you want? So I am just simply going to Kanban, and then so basically for the HR board, you would have a different kind of properties given for the HR or the company managed projects compared to the other projects that we are the team is created, team managed ones. So some properties like the statuses workflow, as we already sir told, like those would be handled by the HR and the IT team. So you if you need anything new, so you can create one ticket under the IT. See, over here for the IT, you don't have a bug. You always will have a task. You will not have bug for IT. because you need some access to the organization's data and you are requesting the IT to do that. So if you say that you need a new workflow to be added, and that is a duplicate.
Kusuma, another small line. So
Yeah.
basically, you take the IT from the drop down, right? So will it be already added into the Jira, or do we have to add them, like a table or something?
No, they will already be there. IT
Okay.
team will already have the access to Jira.
Okay.
You don't have to do anything. So you can give a description over here and then give it as highest and then create one. So technically what happens is that this would be assigned automatically here because we haven't created any IT profile. This is not assigned to anyone. But any IT ticket that you are creating would be automatically assigned to the IT member, and they would be looking into what the requirements are and making the backend changes so that in your this project you will see that new workflow once they complete the task.
Right.
See, madam, just I want to add one point here.
Yes.
Sai Pratik, when it comes to Jira, and everyone, I'll tell you one thing. When it comes to Jira, what happens is, it's a organization or project level tool. Okay. So in the company, what they do is, first of all, when they want to implement Jira for their projects, one admin team will be there actually. Okay, they will buy the Jira licenses and everything. Okay, they will have certain high level permissions where they can change the properties of that particular Jira tool. Okay, so they will keep all those rights in their hand only. One particular team will be there who will maintain the entire Jira servers and backup of the servers and everything. Okay, so whenever any new project comes, project manager will ask them, or the head of the project will ask them to create one particular project to their team. Okay, so even project creation rights also will not be there in our hand. Like as a developer, you cannot create your own project in the organization. Okay, so as we are discussing here, because everything is in our hand, okay, we are creating our own projects here. But to be frank, in the reality, for a project will be created by either project manager or admin people. Okay, and then to the people whoever is working in the project, they will add those members in the project and they will give certain permissions to play with all these creation of dashboards or bugs creation or something like adding the user stories or epics and all those things based on their role, whatever that they are playing. So you can create that. Suppose according to your workflow, if you want something new in that, some major change, I mean, in the structure or something like that, if at all they gave already permission, you can create it. Otherwise, you can raise a IT ticket to them. Okay, that IT project will be already created by those people only. It will be available in that. So that if you create a IT ticket, that will get assigned to one of the admin people and they will do the necessary things, whatever you are asking, again, based on the regulations, I mean, company policies. And then they will create so and so thing and they will assign it to you. You will be able to see the change. Suppose if company policy doesn't agree to that, they will reply to you saying that it cannot be done because of the so and so policy. You proceed with the normal thing only, like that. I hope you understood this, that flow. Got it? Sai? Hello?
Sorry, I was on mute. Yes, sir.
You understood the structure, right? How it flows in reality. Okay?
Yes, yes.
That is what. Okay, we cannot do everything whatever we want in the Jira. They will give certain permissions to one role. Accordingly only you have to do it. Okay, madam. Prasuni, madam, you continue.
Yes.
Thank you.
So if you can see that there is to do and one issue, because I moved it to in progress, this is automatically moved to in progress. So because there are only a single ones, you're not able to see. But basically what happens is if there are multiple issues, so you can like simply scroll this page down and then everything would be shown over here. And even inside the sprint, I have added a, see, if I select the drop down of epic, so you would be able to see all the available epics over here. So if I'm selecting move around things, this will not show over here because this epic belongs to some other sprint, not to this sprint. Though it shows the drop down of all the epics, it will show only the epics that are related to this sprint. So basically a sprint can have multiple epics. Okay, so this filter will help you to understand like exactly what stories are present in a single epic. See, this one is also not showing only because it is not belonging to this sprint. So I'll remove this and then label. So yesterday I've added labels, if you all remember. So here it shows a list of all the labels, like the labels which are present. See, if you can see this story does not have any labels, but if you see this story, this one has this labels called as test and BA classes. So those labels are also shown over here as a drop down. So you can basically filter it out using this option. See, if because I selected this, the to do one is gone because that does not have any label to it. I removed the label. I removed the selection of the label. The other one is showing up. So basically you can try and filter out, like try different combinations. Like if there are multiple epics present in this sprint and you want to look at the data of a single epic, you can do that using this. So I will again open this and then move it to done. See, updated. When I moved this one, until now, whenever there was a comment, there was a message added over here, every time it was showing as updated. And when I moved this one to done, it is saying that it is resolved at 20 seconds ago. So that means like created and resolved would be the end start and end points, and in the middle you always will have the updated ones. And when I close this, if you see, this ticket is moving from in progress, it has moved from in progress to done automatically. And if you go to backlog.
Ma'am, a doubt.
Yes.
Can we reopen the done user story?
Yes, you can. So basically,
Okay.
when you reopen it, you simply have to change the status to again to do. And then comment at the bottom, whatever is the reason why you are reopening it. Reopening because of more improvements needed. You can say like comment like this and then mark it as to do. So this is basically a good practice to comment why some action is being taken by you. So it's not mandatory that you add a comment, but this is a good practice that helps the other users to understand why a closed ticket is again being moved to open state. So now I've moved it to again to do. So here again the status is moved to do. So you need not have to basically open this ticket to change the status. You can change it from here also. So from the list also you can simply move it to in progress. You can move it to done. Okay. So over here, if you see, one is in progress, one is in done, and I will try to complete this sprint. So when I click on complete the sprint, what it shows you, like there is one completed, one is in open state. So it gives you an option. Do you want to move that open ticket to the next sprint? Or do you want to create a new sprint or move it to backlog? So you can do this. So the Jira basically gives you an option, like for suppose by mistakenly without looking into it. So even if I move this to done, there could, 1 second. Okay, there are no child issues over here. Okay. I'll show you one when we have a child issue. So basically what this gives you, Jira gives you an option that, it basically checks with each and every story that is present and gives you an idea that no, something is pending. Do you really want to complete it? Or do you want to make any changes to the open one? Because a sprint can be completed only if each and every story, subtask, epic, everything is moved to done state. So here, when I say move open issues to sprint 3, what happens is that, or I will say, see, it is BA11, right? BA11 is in open state and I am moving that BA11 to sprint 3 and I am completing this sprint. See, the BA11, which is belonging to some other epic, or it was a part of sprint 2, is automatically moved to BA sprint 3. And now again, if you go to the board would show empty because the sprint is completed. So basically the BA board, like the Kanban board, basically gives the idea of what is pending, what is completed, and like exactly what tasks are present in this current sprint. Now I'm again going back to the sprint. I have again started the sprint. The same thing, you can change it. I am trying to customize it. Okay. So I can move it to back also. Like it has to, it's already started. So backend work, if I think that the backend work is already started from 1st of April, but I haven't started the sprint. At that time also, you can basically change the date over here.
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Yes.
What is the difference between changing the tasks to backlog or it's changing the status to next sprint? What is the difference?
Changing the status to?
Means like once the sprint is over, if you are having something pending at your bucket, so what is the
Okay.
difference
So,
that you...
Yeah.
Okay.
Swarup,
When
can
you
I
are
answer for
moving,
that?
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, I will tell you, Swarup, because I explained you Jira, right? So I will tell you properly like why it is so. See, Jira gives you all the different options because see they cannot restrict anyone to follow one particular process only. Okay, Jira people. So what they have done is they will give you all sort of options. For example, I will tell you. See, when you see number of days for the sprint, as per Scrum rules and regulations, what it says, it can be either 1 week, 2 week, sprint can be 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, or 4 week. Maximum 4 weeks we told, right? It should not exceed more than 4 weeks. That is what the Scrum says generally. But here, if you observe here, when you create any sprint, they are giving you one more option. That is your customization. That means if you want more than 4 weeks also, you can take it. Suppose if you got some situation where 4 weeks is not sufficient, okay, they want 5 weeks, then if the tool says that no, not at all possible, means they will stop using the tool, right? So what they have done, they gave one more option called as custom time. You can take 5 weeks or 6 weeks or 7 weeks, whatever you want. So just like that, when you create the when you want to change the status of the uncompleted user story, uncompleted user story. Spillover, somebody might have asked, there is something called as spillover. Means if you not completed something in this sprint, you generally what we do, the answer is move it to the next sprint. Okay, move it to the next sprint. That is one option they have given. And second one is, actually I told you this point, actually spillover is not the perfect answer. Okay, when something you have not completed means you have to put it into the backlog. I mean product backlog, to be frank, because when you put it back into the product backlog, if the priority of that particular user story is changed, I mean, see, when last 2 weeks when you took it, it was a high priority, so you took it into the sprint, but you could not complete it. 10 days over, I mean 2 weeks completed. So in these 2 weeks, market conditions might have changed, and if the priority changes, if now that user story is not that much priority compared to the other things, now what product owner will say, no, no, don't put it into the next sprint. Generally 99% it will go to the next sprint. That one option they are giving. But if product owner says that now that is not priority for me, other things are there, please put it back into the product backlog. If he says like that, then that option it is giving to you. You understood?
Yes, I got it.
You got it right. Like one more option is there. Something like one more option is there. Okay. Uh, Suddenly, if it's like I'll tell you, the market has changed in such a way that now I mean user story became obsolete. That means they don't require it. Okay, then just you can remove that also. Okay, you can delete that also. Okay, like that. Okay, like that, many different options. It gives all the options. Simply you can move it to the next sprint or put it back into the product backlog. So that's why it is giving different options. Okay, I hope you got the clarity now.
Yes,
Rasuna
yes.
madam, you can continue.
Thank you.
Yes. So because we have moved it to the next sprint, it is showing under BA sprint 3. If I would have selected that, it has to go to the backlog. It will automatically be shown over here under the backlog. So these are basically all the tasks, so stories that are already created, but we have not set up any kind of priority. So basically sprint meeting did not happen. They are not looking into the backlog. So because they already have something else in their plate. So if at all I would have selected that, this would be going back to the backlog one over here. So that is the only difference. Because I selected move it to next sprint, it is showing here, and we are supposed to complete it in this sprint basically. And if you move it to backlog, what happens is that it will be under backlog, and later when as we already sir explained, like later when again they decide that yes, we can complete this in the upcoming sprint, they will move it to that sprint. Okay, so now if I go to the board, okay,
Ma'am, how
yes,
to move the user story from the backlog to the sprint?
okay, so you have this backlog, right? You have an option of creating a sprint. When you select this option, you have if you can see this, you only have to drag and drop these into this sprint. Okay, I am dragging it and then dropping it into this. You simply drag and drop all the backlog issues or whatever issues that you want to add into it. Okay, so the sprint is already created over here.
Okay, ma'am.
Now under backlog we have 2, and in the sprint in the next sprint we have 3 tickets to be taken care of.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, and if you can see this public transport, this ATM, if you can see this highlighted ones are the epics to which this story belongs to. Okay, if you can see this, like this is the name of the ATM, and also over here And as I told, like you can basically look at this icon and then say what is it, what is that task related to. If you can see this is a bug, red and then dot. So this would be standard for any like any organization who is using Jira. These like icons would remain standard. For Epic, it shows like this. For a story, it shows like this. For a bug, it shows like this. And for a task, one second. I think I haven't created one. Fine. And here, if you can see this is in progress. This story has been given a like story points over here, right? 3 that like we discussed earlier, the story points, and that is been added over here. So the total stories, like if at all these stories were given the story points, the like it would be summed up and then shown over here. See, if you can see, not started story points, in progress story points, and then done story points. So basically the sprint's complexity would be calculated using these story points. Like because we haven't given any story points to the other ones, we are seeing only 3 over here. And because this ticket is in progress, the 3 is added to in progress story point. And if you see here, the labels, again, even in the backlog also, you can basically filter out what all, like the stories and all, using these labels or using the epics. If I'm selecting only an ATM, so the stories that are related to the epic ATM are present in sprint 3 and also in sprint 4. If I go to public transport, so this is present only in sprint 3. In sprint 4, there are no issues related to this epic. That is why it is showing us empty. Now, if I go to this, see, as I told you, like you can scroll the page. So here, if you see, this is a to-do one, right? In the to-do, there are 3 tickets. So you scroll the page, so you can see the last one over here. This is a user story I have created. Like you might have know the format that is used for creating a user story and then writing the acceptance criteria, right? So you can edit it later also. Like the story was already created and you are editing. Like now you understand that the story points for this would be 5. So you can edit it. And then like any doubts on the comments and history part? Okay. So now when I open this story, so as a developer, the developer has opened the story and they feel like there needs to be some child issues that needs to be created. Sorry, that needs to be created over here. So you can create a child issue from here. Create a child issue and then you can give an example, like you can give the summary of it. And then you create one. See, if you can see this, the icon of this is different compared to the icon of the story. That means this is a child issue. This is a subtask. So by the name, you can understand that this is something related, subtask is something that is related to the main one. Okay. If I have to complete this story, I can complete it. Not an issue. Even with the subtask in the open state. Because this subtask is again an independent task that can be performed without depending on the main story. So these are small pieces of work that needs to be done independently. And then you can also create a child issue, which is one more child issue over here. And then when you open this, if you see, there is no option of creating a subtask to the subtask. The story gives you an option of creating a subtask, creating a child issue, but a subtask does not have another option of creating one more subtask. But I am creating a bug over here. You give the description, you give the attachments and all, and then you create one. Okay, so this is created, and this is BA22, right? So I go to the bug, and then I try to link this issue. As I explained yesterday, you can say is blocked by blocks. So I can basically, as I keep typing, the filter shows different, all the issues that are related to the filter. See, I've written B, so everything that is starting with B has shown up over here. See, this BTSP, BTP, BA. So when I've written BA, the filter is again changed according to what I've written. So I've written hyphen and then 2. When I select 2, everything that is starting with 2 is showing up. I select this and then link it. That means this bug is blocking someone to perform this one. So if I go to bug 22 and then I simply refresh this, see, this subtask has a linked issue that is a bug. This issue is blocked by this bug. Due to this bug, we are not able to complete this subtask. So the linking happens like this. So what I did here is I created this bug separately and then linked this one. You also have an option of linking issue from here. Again, from here, you can select the other bug. So either you can go to the bug and link the issue, or you can go to the subtask and link the bug. Either ways, Jira gives you an option to do it. So for a developer, when he sees this subtask, he will know that to complete this subtask, first thing that he has to do is fix these two bugs. So what he'll do is he'll move it to in progress. He will work on these two and these two tickets. He will fix these two tickets. And then only make sure that this subtask is completed. So I am not basically completing this one to show you one more example. So over here, this BA14 is in done state, but the subtask is in open state. BA22 is in progress state. That is, something else is still under progress. So now I go to the BA board. See, okay. And then I'm trying to complete this. See, BA14 is done, but remaining tasks are still in open state to do. Sorry. So it is mandatory that you complete these. See, why is this saying this one? Because under BA14, we have this subtask which is in progress. That is why, though I am trying to complete the sprint, it is not giving me an option of moving that ticket from sprint 3 to sprint 4 like earlier. Earlier, because the ticket was still in open state and it was not touched by anyone, you can move it to sprint. But here, what has happened here for BA14 is this is completed, but only the child issue is still in progress. In that case, you cannot complete the sprint without completing the subtask. So if I try and complete this subtask and then complete the sprint, now you have this option of completing the sprint. And okay. See, if you see this, it is giving you an understanding of how much tasks are completed and how much is pending. So for this specific epic, ATM epic, you have 3 stories that are completed and still you have the remaining 4 as an open state. And coming to, we have this filters. The issues. So these are few filters that I have created. And if you want to go for advanced issue filter, so basically Jira gives you an option of filtering the data according to your needs. So see, as I told you yesterday, there are a few of the filters that are already given as a default, and you can create. So for example, see, yesterday there was only a single project, so we didn't get so many options. Today I have these many options. So these are all the projects that are present in Jira. So if I need only tickets that are related to IT, I would select this project, IT. So all the tickets that are related to IT would be showing over here. And along with that, I want, so if I, now if I say I want only the tickets that are marked as done state. So for an IT project, a bug which is in done state, all of those would be shown over here. And sometimes what happens is that you don't know in which project that ticket is, that ticket belongs to, the one which you are searching for. Then you can simply keep it as projects all. If you are not selecting any of it, it will by default take it as all. And later, I want only the tickets that are being assigned to this user. So there is a single story that is assigned to this user. So you can get that filter over here. And this is in done state. If I don't want anything, that I want all the tickets, it's not just in just the done one, I want all. So I remove the filter over here also, and it is showing mine only one, because I have assigned only single one. So you can change the usernames over here. So current user means the person who is logged in currently. Okay, so there are 3 tickets that are basically assigned to this person. Either you can take it as current user, or you can select the name of the person. You would be getting the same results over here. And then when you come to type, sorry, so you have these options. One, sorry for that. Okay, so I'm going to this. So when you go for the type, you have all these types, and then you also have this all subtask issue types. If I'm going for all subtasks, so the subtasks that we have created inside the story, those are showing up over here. And in the likewise, if I want only the epics, it shows the epics one, and its status is when was it created, when is it updated, what is the due date that is set for each of the epic that is created. So all these details you can get at as a like, it shows like a report to you. So when you see okay, I want the details. So for example, if you are looking at one project and in which all the epics are there, and I just wanted to see what are in the in progress status. So I'll get the details from here in the filter. Now this is like the bugs and stories that belongs to this project, which are in to-do state. And here, if you see the columns, okay, so these are all the default columns that are present. So along with these default ones, like the assignee, reporter, the priority of the bug, the resolution and all, you have the additional ones as well. So affected versions, as I told earlier, the versions would be added by the admin, and once the versions are added, you can append that version to any of the story or to the bugs. So those fields also, like these fields, whatever the fields are there, you can add those fields to this. So if example, I'm saying components. Okay? So you can see that also over here as a result. And for example, you are looking for a story and its created date only. Okay. So what you can do is you can simply drag this to this side. Okay. So see, if the components shown, the column shown over here is very big and your screen is very small, and you want, like, what it gives you an option is that you can change the column so that you can compare it easily. So you are basically looking at the created and updated date only, mainly. You don't need, you're not bothered about who the assignee is and all. So over here, if you see, like, this story is created on this date and it is updated on this date. That means no other, like, nothing has been made. No changes were made on all of these stories. So you can come up with a conclusion when you try and filter out the data. And if you are familiar with SQL, so you can basically move to SQL also, JQL. So this is called JQL. So basically, this gives you an option of writing your own code for filtering out the data, similar to the SQL one. So when you click in this, so see, when I've given a space over here, it basically shows what all options you can select from here. So I've selected, like earlier I've said that the story type should be bug, like issue type should be bug and story, and now I said it is not, and then I can search. So I'm going to Scrum project. I'm going to task. There are no tasks. So I'm going to stories. Filter. To do. So basically, I want to look at this filter on a daily basis. So suppose this is the task I am supposed to do. In this project, any story that is in to-do list, I have to come in the morning and then check my Jira. So every day you need not have to set this filter. You have the option of saving these filters. So if you see, so these are the starred ones. So these are closed stories. These are the my to-do list. So what happens is that the data within this filter keeps updating as and when the story of this. So if you see, there are four over here. And if I open this, and I'm marking this as done. Okay. And again, I'm going to my to-do list. If you see, the list is updated. So you need not have to create the filter or apply this filter every day. You can just simply select the filter and then you will see that the options are updated. The list will be updated. Similarly, I want to look at all the closed stories. I've already created one filter with this project, story type, and then which are in done state. So I've already saved it as a closed one. So details, when you go to a details of a filter, so over here you have this options. So this filter is only visible to you. So basically when using your account, if you filter something or if you create a filter, by default the filter would be visible only to you. You would explicitly have to give permissions to someone else over here. So access to this can be given to the project level, group level, or to the whole organization. So depending on to whom you want to share your filter, you can do that also from here. So when I say for my organization, okay, so basically what happens is that any person who is logged in into this Jira, this account. So basically we have created the Jira account using this company ID domain. So it will automatically give this ivanco.atlassian.net. So anyone who is logged into this Jira would be able to see this filter if I save this. And you can at any point of time again change this permission. It's not compulsory that once you have whatever it is. I'm not sure what is wrong over here, but generally when you edit the permissions and give the permissions, it would save the details. So if you see this, the project, and here you are selecting the project, like people belonging to which project should be able to see this filter. So if I select this, and roles, basically here the admin role, the tester, the QA, the BA, all the roles would be seen here once the accounts are created. So because for now no roles are created, here it doesn't show anything, and then I save it. Successfully updated. And if you see here earlier, like this specific filter is given a number. If I go to my to-do list, this filter code is changed. And if I go to my open ones, the filter code is changed. So the filter value is given only for the saved filters. If I search for something very specific, now I'm going to something else. Here, if you see, the filter code is not given. It is simply searching with whatever search values you are selecting here. Only when you save it, the filter is shown. Filter ID is created. So basically these are called issue IDs, and this is a filter ID. So you can simply say like you can copy this and then share it with your team members if you have given rights to them. So basically what happens here is you need not have to tell them like what is the filter that you have applied to reach to this point. Any doubts on the filter side?
Ma'am, without that link, even though if we give the permissions, they can't see it.
They can see it, but they would not specifically go. They have to go into their filters and then see in this list.
Okay, ma'am. Like we say, no, we saved a filter so that it mentioned as my to-do list. For them also,
Yes.
it will mention with our names.
It will not mention your name. It will simply show it as my to-do list only for them also.
Okay, ma'am.
The names will not be updated, or your name would not be appended to it.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Any doubts on today's session?
Yeah. Hey, anybody want to ask any doubts related to this? Fine, right? Okay. So, Prasanna madam, tomorrow anything is there for continuation to this?
So basically for today, I've actually shown all the options that can be done and the filters
Okay.
that are applied. So
Okay.
it again depends on how, like, if they have any doubt or if they want another session of how to create the story or how to create the epic, we can take a session tomorrow.
Everyone, do you want one more session like how to create the epic and then stories and then tasks and everything? You want to see one more time?
Yes, we.
Yes, sir.
Because see, many people are doing it for the first time. They may have some confusion between the pages and everything because all look similar kind of thing. Okay,
Yes.
if you want to see one more time, I will arrange the session for tomorrow. Basically, like in as a BA, what you do, like writing the user story, like as a user, I want to do this, that updating it, and then uh, uh, assigning the story points and like that, changing the status and everything. Is it fine? I mean, are you okay with a session for tomorrow? Shall we take one more
Yes.
thing?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, we will see
Okay.
one more time,
Yes.
sir, because it is first time you are seeing. You may get confusion or anything. Okay, fine. Tomorrow
So
also we will have a session. It will be around 1 hour only, right, madam?
yes.
It won't
So
take much
tomorrow what
time
I'll
also.
do is, yeah, tomorrow what I'll do is, like, it would be good that you people come up with different user stories and tell me, and then I can create that with along with you.
Yeah,
Or
that
if
will
you
be
want me
better.
to come up with, yeah, so that you will also understand, like, you have this user story in your hand and how would you put it into Jira.
Yeah, that will be
So
better. Okay.
yeah,
Ma'am, one
Yeah.
doubt I have. Hello, Prasanna ma'am.
yes.
So basically, they now whichever you showed was Cabana, right? So what about Agile, that Scrum and bug tracking? The view will be same. The processor will be same. There's no change in that, right?
Yes, there will not be any change.
Okay, okay, thank you. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Someone of you come with one or two user stories. You tell her tomorrow so that
Sir,
she will
actually,
explain you like.
uh, we
Yeah.
already commonly did the T-card stories, right, sir? So it's better we
Yeah.
place them in.
Yeah. Then I will do one thing. I will give some user stories to her. Okay. Related to that e-card, whatever you have written, and she will show you how to enter that things and manage the things in the Jira.
Jira.
Okay, that we
Yes,
will see
yes.
so that you will get more, maximum idea to use it. And when it someone pinged me on WhatsApp, like what about the licensing of it, right? So actually, it is a paid tool. Okay, it's very costly to be frank. Jira, you don't buy it, but when you subscribe with your mail ID, I think 1 month, madam, Prasanna madam, is it 1 month free or 1 week?
It will be for 14 days only.
Yeah, 14 days, right? 2 weeks they will give at free of cost. Okay, so if you log in with, if you go to atlassian.com Jira, and then if you download it and if you try to register with them and install it in your system, it will give you 14 days full permissions, like Jira 14 days. So what you do is you just log in with your credentials, like mail ID or anything, Gmail ID or anything, you give it and you download it and you install in your system and use it for 14 days. Okay, but that 14 days don't neglect. Within that 14 days, you try to learn maximum things in that itself, because after that it will ask you for buying that and everything, but it's very costly, like $10 per month or something like that, which is not affordable. Okay, so you do like that. Understand? So for 14 days, once tomorrow class is completed, you subscribe it, and then you try to play with that and try to get some hands on in that. Okay, in the trial version itself for 14 days, if you concentrate, that is more than enough. Anyway, yesterday's session, today's session, and tomorrow's session also I am recording. Okay, I will share it to all of you. In future, you can also see, and you can recollect that what are the topics we covered. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, that is also a better option, right? Okay. Anyway, that will be very, very useful for you. I will do that for you, all of you. Fine, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So tomorrow will be our last class. Okay, first our madam will take it, and after that 10-15 minutes I will take the class, and then we will wind up with our first batch, agile batch in our company. Okay.
Okay.
Fine, sir. Then we'll go ahead. We'll log off for the day. Tomorrow we'll catch up.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Fine.
Thank you.
Fine.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.